Ready? Yeah. Back. Like it's 2014.
I didn't know the off-court stuff would come together the way it did.
It was special. You could tell it went far beyond basketball. You know, something you don't come by often in this league.
I think those two just had a natural bond that went deeper than basketball, and you could see it every day.
Kyle had that edge, that talk stuff mentality, and kind of gave DeMar that bravado, that little brother, big brother relationship, and that's what made it work.
It was a really good balance, you know, like the yin-yang.
You know, Kyle, he was the leader on the floor. He made big-time shots. DeMar, he was just a killer.
I think to see those two sort of come together and develop sort of a authentic relationship on the court, off the court, with their families, you know, it was just always fun to see from afar.
Man, they're brothers. There's no other way to put it.
They're like frick and frack now. They're closer than ever, even on opposite ends of the coast.
I remember when Kyle got traded to Toronto, Kyle said, yo, I want to make DeMar an all-star. Like, that was his goal coming in there. And that was one of the first times I saw Kyle take himself out of the picture and he put everyone else forward. And I was like, all right, the Raptors got something.
I didn't make the trade for Kyle thinking that that's what we were going to do, but I thought dynamic backcourt with these two kind of pushing that every day and knowing their competitiveness and knowing DeMar's commitment to getting better and knowing the amount of time that Kyle puts into being a better basketball player all the time, it just made sense to pair those two and then see what you could do with the rest. I didn't know the off-court stuff would come together the way it did.
You guys didn't like each other at first, or didn't really?
No, see, we just didn't talk. Yeah, that's how stories get changed.
It wasn't necessarily a dislike. It was just more so like non-communication. It was just, you know what I mean? Like,
hey, you opened that pass. All right, cool.
Like it was like walking in the locker room. Like it was just so it could come off like it was a dislike, but it just wasn't no communication.
Yeah.
Huge news, Toronto has traded Rudy Gay today prior to the game, so he is not available. He is going to Sacramento.
Everybody now has got to step up. We want an opportunity, we talk about opportunity, here it is. I think one of the best moves, and no disrespect to Rudy Gay, that Masai made was moving Rudy Gay out, because really Rudy Gay and DeMar, they needed the same real estate. They needed the same space to operate in. So moving Rudy out, number one, helped DeMar operate in that space. Number two, it almost force-fed Kyle and DeMar to be buddies.
Lowry lets it go with Kobe coming over a little bit too late. Here is DeRozan in the lane. He puts it up and in.
They traded Rudy Gay, and we got on that plane, and we sat there at the table, and we was like, yo, we about to get up out of here. We're going to do something different. And basically, he said it to me, and I said it to him at the same time. I was like, what we want to do. I think he was more inclined to make sure that, yo, like, I need you. And I know you need me, but I need us to be on the same page, and we need to win now, because I'm not trying to be out of here.
That was a critical moment in so many ways, because the trade happened. We was in LA, but we had to finish out a West Coast road trip. And that trip kind of like brought us together like close, because it was like a sense of urgency and desperation kind of kicked in. We kind of knew like our reality, because if we was going back to Toronto, it was a good chance like it was over. We was gonna be traded. But that week kind of like prolonged the history of what we was able to create, honestly. And I just think that time on the road where we kind of just bought in to feeling like, you know, this your last shot, and we kind of just went for it.
The Toronto Raptors defeat the Lakers here in LA for the first time since December 28, 2001.
We skipped you one more. I have no clue.
I don't want to be like you at all. I don't want to be like you. No, none.
You know, I think the best part about the Kyle DeMar friendship was that they were growing at the same time that the team was in the city and everything together. And so I think even they would say they weren't probably the most natural fit, right? You have a kid from Compton, you have a kid from North Philly. And so what was the natural connection?
One, DeMar needed that edge, you know, because DeMar's more laid back and say la vie, you know, live and let live type personality, which is great. Now, he will take your head off once you get on the floor, but DeMar's demeanor was a little bit more laid back. One of the best humans you want to meet. But Kyle had that edge, that talk stuff mentality, and kind of gave DeMar that bravado, that, little brother, big brother relationship. And that's what made it work.
Guys, Cracker going together. Cracker going together. These are right.
I think honestly, like opposites like attract. That's like the main thing, because like DeMar is like very like laid back and in his shell, and Kyle's like wears his like heart in his sleeves and like is like very vocal, you know. So I thought it was a really good balance, you know, like the yin and yang of how it is, you know. Like DeMar doesn't get too high, you know. Kyle can get super emotional sometimes.
We are really the same person, but we different people at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got things that we both know about each other, and we are the same exact thought process at the same, but we are completely different. And the genuine person that he is, like I said, he taught me a lot, but the genuineness of who he is, his story, his upbringing, you can't beat it. It wasn't all peaches and cream, same here. Like, it's just, you find a special person, you know what I mean? Like, you just find a specialness in a person, and it don't matter. Now, it's just like, it don't even matter. Like, we on the same wavelength all the time.
Mm-hmm. Outside of basketball, like, to have a connection with somebody in the most genuine way, like, you kind of realize, like, how, you know, fragile life could be at times, because everybody should have this type of, you know, friendship relationship with whoever it may be. And sometimes you lose that through life, through situations. And I think for me, you know, playing in the league so long and being able to look at, you know, somebody like damn basketball, like, this is a person that my partner in crime, right, wrong, and indifferent. Like, I'm near for him, and it's a feeling of appreciation so much. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, even like if I watch him play or if something come up, it's never about basketball. It's more so like, man, you remember those late night talks or conversations, or some random come up, or we do this or you do that, whatever it may be. It's so many scenarios that I pinpoint to at my lowest moments that made it everything for me. When you can look at somebody and you have that sentiment towards them, it means the world. So, and all the other basketball take care of yourself, but to have somebody that you can look at and pick up the phone, and it'd be a lot of times I call them and I'd be like, I don't even know why I called you. You know what I mean? I'd just be like, but what you doing? You know what I mean? It's like, that's just a genuine thing that just happened over this time. You know what I mean?
You know how many times we just sat in the room and like, he come to my room and I go to his room and we literally just sit there and watch TV. But literally, it was the one time we were in Charlotte. I think it was my room. We got Bojangles right down the street. I think we came from the mall, whatever. We got picked up Bojangles. We sat there and ate Bojangles, watched basketball, and then we had me and him at push-up contest.
And that'd be the thing, man. Be like, those are moments that mean so much to me. I think this, you know, my moment. We talked about it one time a long time ago when we was in Kansas City and we walked through a McDonald's drive-thru.
It was Wichita.
Yeah, Wichita.
Freddie was there. That's when we first met Freddie.
It was Wichita?
Yes, Freddie met Freddie. That's when we first met Freddie. He was on that team, the Shockers.
Wow.
And what y'all saying that's the McFlurry story.
We get to go get a McFlurry. We try to walk through a drive-through.
We did.
But the dude on the motorcycle, we asked him could he buy it for us because they wouldn't let us. You know what I mean? Like those be the moments.
It was like 11 o'clock at night.
It was. Those the moments to where it's like outside of basketball and being famous and having all like those the moments that give the ultimate like humility. Think about every time you've seen us outside of playing basketball. Yeah. We it's like that's who we are. That's who we thrive to be, is like just free, enjoying life, enjoying the moment of every single thing that we choose to do.
Snapchat, what's happening?
NBA All-Star 2016, Toronto. Me and the boy Debo.
6'5".
Oh my God.
And they played some good defense on it, and I wish I would have threw it lower, but his abilities to set the screen, he's getting better screening every game and rolling and understanding how to play and knowing the game is helping him and helping me and helping our whole team. This is hot-ass breath on my neck.
Hey, what's up? I didn't even open my mouth. It don't matter, your breath is hot.
They were just so authentic to themselves. You saw the brotherhood. It wasn't just, surface level. You could see how deep they meant to each other. And I think it was kind of like an example of how you could be kind of best friends with your teammate that would lead to success.
Roughly champion right here.
Damn! A lot of money. Fire! Whatever they say. What'd you say? Is that your first shot?
Debo! Say what's up over there. I gotta zoom in and look at that.
Everybody can't come in a sprinter like Cap. We gotta suffer with driving in the snow every single day. Like he's just riding in the back, laying down, listening to music.
I was interviewing Kyle one time, and I know I think I still have the clip of it somewhere, but I'm interviewing him and I saw DeMar coming, and he had a towel, and I'm like, oh man, he's gonna do something ridiculous, and you kind of just let them run. At the end of the game, it was almost like they were more excited for the other person when they did something. And I think that that's sometimes so rare in sport, that it was a bond and it was two teammates that just genuinely loved seeing each other's successes. I mean, I saw it firsthand. It was amazing.
Hey, T-Ross, you're saying that record is gone. That record gone. 52. Beth, 52. 52. Franchise record.
He used to watch this one movie all the time.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
And I used to hate it, but it used to be so funny because the movie always ended up watching him, but I used to hate that he always put the movie on. I'm like, don't put nothing on there. But he used to watch the same movie, and it used to always seem like it was on the same part.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World, baby. You know where I filmed that? It was filmed in Toronto.
But the Toronto Raptors win the East, and they record their greatest regular season in franchise history.
Your team is more successful when you're playing for the guy beside you. The qualitative stuff, the playing for the city, playing for the love of the game. You can't put a number on. When you have a friendship like that, it rallies and mobilizes the rest of the team.
Do you guys think that the friendship matters in success?
Yes.
1,000%, man.
Yes. No, without even just a simple yes. People, they don't understand it, right? And basketball is not just, all right, number 43, number 10, number 7, it ain't just that. Because you got to be able to communicate and have a conversation. Yeah. Right? You got to be able to talk and be able to say, he might be having a day. I might be having a day. Coming to the game, and if he wasn't, he's like, get me to the second half. That's a friendship. Yeah, I understand it's definitely professional, but it's also a friendship. All right, I ain't really, I got to get myself going. Get me there. And all right, cool. I got you, bro.
I credit most of our success to the closeness that we had. You know what I mean? We really was like a brotherhood, and we really fought for each other. We came in there wanting everybody to be successful, to get paid, to everything, man. And that was that was the beauty with us, man. Like, we would go eat together. I remember, you know, Pat used to have movie premieres. We would go see that. You know, it just used to be so much that had nothing to do with basketball, what made us successful. And, you know, I think that's really the key to success. And that was the key to our success for sure.
A lot of people, you know, when they bring it in, they say family. Like, a lot of teams do. And I think we really believed that we were a family. I'm not even joking.
Yeah,
like, it wasn't like,
it was that.
You know, you could say family on three, you know, so they try to, but I really, truly believe that we were family.
Opportunity on the road, man. Let's come out and not fuck with it. From the gate, we gotta play extremely hard. Play smart and let's get this win. Smart. Win on three, 1, 2, 3.
You know, if you can look to the left and the right of you and know that you have a brother or a strong bond with somebody in the midst of this competition that's day in and day out. It's a grind for 6-7 months at a time. In those moments where, you know, the season might not be so pretty, having those bonds and relationships are key and vital in, you know, getting yourself back to playing winning or a certain type of basketball necessary.
DeRozan trying to back down on James Johnson. Here's Lowry spinning back, bucket. Lowry finds Norman, gives it up. DeRozan, little shake, shimmy, pull up, 30 points for DeMar DeRozan.
I think what was so great about Kyle and DeMar was they were kind of two guys in the locker room doing their own thing, focused, but what brought them together was their genuine love for the game and the not skipping any steps, the showing up to practices early, staying later, shooting after games, lifting when they needed to. When you stepped in at the time that they both were Toronto Raptors, you knew that you had to have it together because these guys were not playing around.
Then once the expectations went up about winning championships, winning the playoffs, winning rounds of the playoffs, our standards were always set, and both of those guys were there as setting the standards of holding everybody else accountable, holding each other accountable. And that trust permeated between the team. There's nobody else to say anything when the two best players had a certain amount of trust for each other, and that trust kind of permeated between everybody. And so their friendship really elevated the entire group.
For a young guy coming into the league and not knowing anything about anything, having those two was vital for me and a huge part of kind of like my foundation as a professional. From the outside looking in, you knew they were close, but once I got here, just seeing how they kind of set the tone, and it was, you know, good cop, bad cop kind of sometimes where, you know, Kyle was his own type of leader and DeMar was obviously our best player and a different type of leader, but they were so close that it kind of set the tone for the rest of the team, and it made for a great chemistry.
Most famous plays that
Plays?
Yeah, like
dive two. It's dive two. We had the ones that stand out the most is like when we first ran it in against Indiana Pacers. I wore number 3, opening night. Dunk. DeMar got the dunk. Boom.
DeRozan on top from Lowry.
You know what's crazy about dive two? What was my favorite part about it? Because I see it now whenever I see like highlights of it. Whenever we used to do the dive two, I'll be walking right next to him and tell him like, "You want to do it now?"
Do that.
Like we'll be like,
walking down the court,
like
walking down the court,
and it used to work
every time. And we just
every time.
Like, huh? How y'all keep letting us get this play off?
One of my personal favorites too is the Detroit game.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
DeMar DeRozan, 6 to go, got all the way to the ball. Dominant dynamite! Detonates on Detroit!
If you don't know the clip, I jumped on this ball.
And I'm trying to keep my calm. But beforehand, I'm telling you, in the timeout, he telling me all these things before it happened. And that happened. That happened so much, like, that people don't realize. A lot of stuff that I did late in games, it came from him. Like, even my first game winner, first year there, we wasn't even as close as we was.
What I tell you to do?
I swear, before walking out, he said, when you make this shot, act like you hit it before.
3 seconds. Gives it to DeRozan. DeRozan's fading. What a tough shot. And it goes! it goes! DeMar DeRozan wins it!
I wasn't even in the game.
Yeah.
Jose threw on the pass, but I said it before. I said, listen, when you make this shot, actually you did it before. Ain't no running off the court. He made his shot. He did his, his thing. If you watch the video, and I just told him after the game, I said, that's how you do it, because I know what his favorite player would have done.
Hey, let's not let up, man. It's an important game. Most important game. Let's treat it like it's our last, man. Go ahead and handle business.
Have fun, y'all.
Win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Win. Hashtag all day.
Kyle, he put the pieces together. I feel like being organized, put people in the right spots. When there was big time shots, he was the leader on the floor where, he was making those little hustle plays. You got some of those guys that are like glue guys that make those hustle plays. He was that guy putting his body on line, taking charges, and you got DeMar. He was just spectacular the way he be able to get to the mid-range, make tough shots, be able to lead his team down in the fourth quarter. He was just a killer. There's a lot of great duos in the NBA, so I feel like, we just got to do a great job as a team, all young guys. Just learning, I feel like that's the biggest thing we got to do, is learn, and, I feel like we're going to grow. That's what we're building right now. We got a lot of great relationships with the team. We're just continually building, and that's just going to help us for the future. He's starting in Miami.
When you're in a locker room with somebody and you're that close to them, that connection is never abated. It never goes anywhere. You might be in different uniforms, you might be in different cities, but that connection's still there, and it's kind of nice to see. It's the human side of the game, despite all the business decisions and trades and money. It's the human side of the game where guys become friends, and once the ball stops bouncing, that friendship never stops.
To your city, number 7, give it up for Kyle Lowry. And Mr. I am Toronto, they call it Debo. Number 10, this is DeMar DeRozan.
Kyle and DeMar, they mean just everything to Raptors. If you don't feel the same way, then you're not a real Raptors fan. Those guys set the foundation. They stayed through all the hard times, and Kyle was there when we were eventually able to get it done and get the championship. That's just those two guys are really at the heart of who the Raptors are.
I've said it, and I'm sure, I mean this. I'm going to take my one day whenever I retire. It's going to be there one day, and I'm going to sign it, and I want to finish my career as a Toronto Raptor. I want to finish it because what that place did for me, what that place did for him, what that place did for our families and friends, we will never get that back. It's the place that I became me, and not as who Kyle Lowry is, but I became that guy, or whatever you want to call me. I would say the same thing for him.
Yeah.
He got drafted there.
Yeah. I think what's crazy, me being drafted there, there was no other place I wanted to go. I just always think about even a tweet, that I tweeted when Chris left, don't worry, I got us. I meant that, I meant that wholeheartedly, and I think the love and the ups and downs, I really gave my all to that organization, to that country, because I just wanted them to respect it in return. So to Low Point, definitely that's the only place I want to go out as well. Doing the whole one-day thing and everything.
It's gonna be for sure. It's gonna be a one-day thing.
It's one of those things that's, like I said, I think I said it before. I would never have an emotional connection like I had with no other place than Toronto.
Next time I'll open the gym.
So I was coming in and he was thinking about blowing things up.
It's just shocking. Everything can happen.
Anytime any of these major deals come up, is the balance of doing this change or making this trade worth it for what we're trying to build as a family, as a team?
It's stressful, especially here when Masai get to work on that phone.
It's incredibly tense as far as what's at stake, what we gave up to get to this point, and will it work out or not?